Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Leslie and my videos are all about luxury, shopping, sometimes career, so if that sounds like your thing, definitely consider subscribing, and while you're down there also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I upload twice a week and I would love to see you back here. So for today's video, I thought I'd share with you what my current luxury wish list looks like. Wishlist videos are one of my personal favorites to watch on YouTube, and although we are already well into 2020, I still thought it would be a great idea to show you what's currently on my wish list, what I'm lusting after, and what I hope to be purchasing in the near or further future. Plus, it helps keep me accountable in terms of my bigger saving goals. I am no stranger to buying like small items here and there, but having a concise wish list definitely helps keep me on track. And sharing it on the internet definitely adds another layer of pressure that hopefully helps keep me accountable. So let's get into my wish list. Right after I kindly ask you to tap the like button down below, that would greatly help out my channel. I've been on YouTube for a little over a month now, and I've definitely grown, and I'm appreciative of every single one of my subscribers and every single one of you watching my videos, but hitting the thumbs up button and also subscribing if you enjoy my videos definitely helps me out. So yeah, thanks so much. And now let's get into the wish list. I go through the items in no particular order, so just because I mentioned something towards the end of the video doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not 100% sure about that item yet, but yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't rank my wish list or anything like that. So let's start with the first item on my wish list, and that is actually a piece of jewelry, more specifically a Van Cleef & Arpels or VCA necklace. So Van Cleef is especially known for their Alhambra line. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's like a 4-leaf clover, and usually, or like most of their designs are either filled in mother of pearl or like malachite, which is kind of a greenish color, but my heart is set on the guilloche version. Essentially, instead of the mother of pearl or like malachite filling, it's all gold, and it's like very intricately carved gold. You'll be seeing it on the screen. I also looked up what guilloche actually means on Wikipedia, and according to our trusty friend Wikipedia, guilloche is a decorative technique in which a very precise, intricate and repetitive pattern is mechanically engraved into an underlying material via engine turning. There we go. So yeah, you'll be seeing it on the screen. It's like very finely carved gold all throughout the clover, and I think it's so pretty. I first saw the guilloche necklace on Christina Brawley's YouTube channel, and since then I haven't been able to get it out of my mind. But the necklace, unfortunately, obviously, because this VCA comes with quite a hefty price tag. I think it's 3,300 euros. I'll insert the price in USD on the screen. So yeah, not the cheapest item whatsoever. Obviously, it's fine jewelry, so I get that it's expensive, but still, I'm not too sure if I'd rather go for a handbag instead of a necklace. But yeah. Also, at least in my understanding, when it comes to fine jewelry, it's not something that I just buy like without an occasion. When it comes to fine jewelry, I much rather buy it for a special occasion, to like have it as a sentimental piece. So either I'll have to wait until my 30th birthday, which isn't until another couple of years, to treat myself to the necklace, or I'll have to think of another special occasion that would like warrant buying an expensive necklace for myself. But yeah, it's definitely very high on my wish list. By the way, one thing I did want to point out is that, as you'll see while we progress through my wish list, the list is not meant to be like what I'm going to buy in 2020, by no means at all. It's definitely more like a general and a long-term wish list. Alright, and while we're on the topic of jewelry, let's quickly cover the second jewelry item that is on my wish list at the moment, and that is an Hermes Click H bracelet. I'd love to get it in white enamel with gold or even rose gold metal, or a blush pink enamel would be pretty too, but yeah, to be honest, I'm a little torn when it comes to the Hermes Click bracelet. On the one hand, they are super pretty, but on the other hand, it's costume jewelry for like around 500 euros, which I think is quite a lot for a bracelet that has zero like precious metals inside it. Also, I've heard a lot of people say that the click bracelets scratch like crazy, so yeah, that's definitely not something I'm too fond of. Also, I actually set myself the goal to buy less costume jewelry. I have quite a good collection when it comes to Chanel costume jewelry, and I don't even want to add up what those earrings and brooches could have gotten me in terms of handbags or something like that. So yeah, I'm not sure yet about the Hermes bracelet, just because I actually want to stay away from costume jewelry for the most part. So when it comes to Louis Vuitton, I have 4 items on my wish list, or more like 1 category and 2 specific items. And while I have a feeling that the 2 items I'm going to talk about might find their way into my collection somewhat soon-ish, the category will stay on my wish list like forever, and I might never get around to actually adding an item from that category to my collection. But a girl can dream, right? And because adding stuff to your wish list doesn't cost anything, I thought I'd throw that category in there because, like, law of attraction, I guess. So yeah, let's start with a category. And what I'm talking about are Louis Vuitton trunks. Not like hard-sided luggage in terms of rolling luggage. I mentioned those in my video about items I will never spend my money on. I'll link that one in the description box if you haven't seen that one yet. I'm actually talking about like real deal trunks. As I said, there are 2 items in this trunk category that are on my wish list. The first one is a very small one, and the second one is like a very grown-up and bigger purchase. But yeah, let's start with the small one, and that is the Coffret Trésor 24. I'll insert a video of that one that a lovely lady on Instagram was nice enough to film for me, so you'll be seeing it on the screen next to me or over my face. I'm not too sure how I'm going to insert that. So yeah, it's essentially a small size trunk that you can store like your jewelry inside or other like small items and stuff. So yeah, it's essentially just for decoration purposes, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to or comfortable with spending like 3,600 euros on something that would just sit in my wardrobe and look pretty and hold my like earrings or brooches and stuff. Maybe somewhere like way down the line when my handbag collection is like super big and I have nothing else to spend my money on, then I might go for one of these mini trunks. But yeah, for now they stay on my wish list and might be staying on my wish list for a few years. And while we're already on like ridiculous and over-the-top wishes, as I said, there is a bigger trunk on my wish list too, and that is like a vintage big Louis Vuitton trunk, and I'd love to have one of those for like my living room table or like a coffee table, to like have a few coffee tables on there, some bougie candles, like a bouquet of flowers. You see, I'm clearly fantasizing here. I don't think a Louis Vuitton trunk would even fit in my living room at the current moment. So yeah, if I ever decide to purchase a Louis Vuitton trunk as like a furniture piece, that will be like in 10 years, 20 years time. But again, a girl can dream, and I thought I'd put it out there. And yeah, as for the more realistic items on my Louis Vuitton wish list, first off, there is the Louis Vuitton bandoulière keep-all in 45 in the Macassar style. It's essentially like the regular monogram, but instead of the handles and the trimming and all that, and the shoulder strap being in vachetta untreated leather, which is like the very light beige one, which is super susceptible to water stains and getting grease marks from your hand cream or something like that. The leather is like a matte black one. So I think that's super useful, especially considering the keep-all is something you'd be traveling with. And yeah, travel items usually get thrown around a little more, and you might not be too careful when it comes to keeping it in pristine condition. So having the black leather instead of the untreated leather is definitely a good idea. And B, I just think the combination of the classic monogram canvas and the black leather is such a beautiful combination. So yeah, the keep-all is definitely on my wish list. One thing I don't get though is why Louis Vuitton decided to not make the keep-all in the Macassar in the size 50. They only make the 45 in the Macassar, which happens to be on my wish list, and skip the 50 size and go right to the 55. And the 55 is way too big even on my frame, and I'm kind of tall. I'm 177 centimeters. So yeah, I think the 55 is just overwhelming in terms of size. Plus, I mean, when you fill the 55 up, chances are it will get super heavy. And yeah, you do have the like bandoulière strap for your shoulder, but still I don't think I'd be able to like carry it for a longer period of time. So yeah, the 55 is just too big, and I don't want to risk like airlines telling me I have to check in my keep-all because the 55 might surpass like the maximum measurements in terms of carry-on luggage. So yeah, the 45 is on my wish list. just because the size seems to be more practical. But at the same time, I don't know if it's maybe too small. So yeah, maybe I just have to go into the boutique a second time and try out what actually fits inside the keepall, or order it online, and yeah, if need be, I'll have to return it. But yeah, the keepall Bandoulière in the Macassar is definitely high on my wish list. And the last item on my wish list when it comes to Louis Vuitton is actually a perfume, more specifically in the Rose des Ventes scent. The thing is, Louis Vuitton perfumes are kind of expensive. I'm more used to spending like a maximum of 100 euros on a perfume, and the Louis Vuitton ones come in at like 215 euros. I'll put the price in euros and in USD on the screen. So it's kind of a lot of money for a perfume, but I think the scent is so special. I haven't smelled anything even remotely similar from like other brands. So yeah, I think I'll just have to bite the bullet and buy it. So now for the portion of the video that gets me most excited, and I think a lot of you are with me on that, and that is handbags. I have a total of 4 handbags to show you, 2 from Chanel, 1 from Dior, 1 from Hermes. Let's get started. First off, Dior. I really want to get myself a Lady Dior in black smooth leather with gold hardware in the large size. I know small handbags have been all the rage over the last few years, but I just can't help it. I'm a big handbag kind of girl, so the large Lady Dior is definitely on my wish list. I just think with the quilting and the style with the top handle, it's just so classy and elegant, but at the same time like somewhat modern, depending on your style obviously, but I think the large Lady Dior would look perfect on me. The thing with Dior though, and also the aspect that has been holding me off from actually adding a Lady Dior to my collection, is that they don't perform too well on the resale market. New from the boutique, the Lady Dior comes in, I think, 3,900 euros. I'll put the price on the screen. So yeah, we're talking about Chanel money. But on the pre-loved market, I've seen the large Lady Dior sell for like 1,800, 2,000 euros. So yeah, that's quite a significant loss in terms of when you're buying the handbag brand new at least. So yeah, either I'll have to go the pre-loved route, or I'll have to just bite the bullet and buy the Lady Dior new from the boutique and just like ignore the fact that the depreciation is kind of wild. So yeah, I'm not sure about which route I want to go. I mean, the more sensible option would be to go pre-loved and just like accept a few scuffs and like corner wear and stuff. But when it comes to handbags, especially like very expensive ones, my preference is to buy the items new from the boutique because of the whole like buying experience and being able to remember that specific day when you went into the boutique. So yeah, that whole like buying experience aspect is definitely kind of important to me, but I don't know if it's important enough to me to warrant the like 2,000 euro or dollar price difference. So yeah, I really love the Lady Dior. I just have to make up my mind about how I want to buy the bag. When it comes to Chanel, the first bag on my wish list, and very high on my wish list in fact, is the Trendy CC. Again, black leather, gold hardware. I think we see a pattern here. The Trendy CC has been on my wish list for quite a number of years. Over the last year or so, it's gotten very popular and very hard to get your hands on. So that definitely would require me to like get in touch with an SA and pre-order it, or like have my name written on a waiting list or something like that. But yeah, the Trendy CC is such a beautiful handbag. And the second Chanel bag that I've been lusting after is another classic flap. I do own the black jumbo, again, black with gold hardware, but the classic flap I'm talking about when it comes to my wish list is actually a gray one. The issue when it comes to Chanel and their colors though is that most of their colors are seasonal, apart from the black obviously. So yeah, I definitely have to wait until the perfect shade of gray comes around. But yeah, I think a gray handbag is such a classic and so easy to style in terms of the color, because obviously gray is a neutral. So definitely on my wish list, I'd love to get myself a gray classic flap. And last but not least, Hermes. As I said in the beginning of the video, this is definitely not a what I'm getting myself in 2020, but more like a what I plan to get like in the next couple of years or even in the next 10 years. So yeah, with that disclaimer out of the way, I would love to get myself a black Birkin, again, black obviously, gold hardware or rose gold, but rose gold is kind of rare from what I've gathered. Size 35, again, I love a good big handbag. and preferably in Epsom leather because I love the structure that Epsom leather gives. But Hermes handbags are ridiculously expensive. I mean, I am lucky because I'm located in Europe, and when you compare the Euro prices to the US prices or like Asia, I mean, Hermes is cheap in comparison to that, but still extremely expensive, and I totally get that. I mean, you could buy yourself a car instead of a handbag, so yeah, that's kind of crazy, and my family doesn't get that at all. I mean, I already mentioned in another video that I'm the only one in my family that enjoys and appreciates luxury handbags and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a huge financial commitment. And B, when it comes to Hermes, having the cash ready to buy an extremely expensive handbag isn't enough for them. Usually you'd have to jump through several hoops and build a relationship with an SA and spend like almost the equivalent of what the actual bag would cost in like stuff you don't actually need just to be able to be offered a handbag. So I know that the whole Hermes Birkin journey will be a very long one for me, but I'm happy to wait. And yeah, having to wait also gives me a lot of time to actually save up for the Birkin and make up my mind if I'm actually willing to part with such a huge chunk of money for a handbag. So yeah, still on my wish list, but not something that will happen anytime soon. But again, a girl can dream, and maybe in a few years or in 10 years, which would be perfectly fine with me, the Hermes stars align for me and I'll be able to get my hands on the specific Birkin I'm looking for. But until then, I'm happy to look at the Birkin from afar or on Instagram and save up for a Birkin if I happen to ever get offered one. So there you have it. That was my like long-term luxury wish list as of May 2020. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That would really help out my channel. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And until next time, bye.